Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. Today, we're starting a new big topic, self-studying English in 2026.
And honestly, this topic is more relevant than ever because people don't lack information anymore. They lack structure and energy.
Exactly. If you're listening right now, chances are you've already tried to learn English on your own. You watched videos, downloaded apps, saved posts, maybe even bought a course.
And then life happened.
Yes, work, stress, lack of time, lack of motivation, and suddenly English becomes that thing you want to do, but never actually do consistently.
What's interesting is that in 2026, access is no longer the problem. You can learn English for free with AI, podcasts, YouTube, apps, tutors. Everything is available.
But here's the real pain point. Most people don't quit because English is hard. They quit because they don't know how to organize learning around real life.
Right. People often think, if I don't study for 1 hour every day, it doesn't count. So they miss 1 day, then 2, then stop completely.
And then comes guilt. I'm bad at languages. I don't have discipline. I've tried everything.
Which is not true.
Not at all. The system is the problem, not the person.
In this podcast, we're not going to talk about levels like A2, B1, B2 all the time, because language learning is not linear.
You don't finish listening and then start speaking. You don't wait until grammar is perfect to talk. Real learning is mixed. Listening, reading, speaking, repeating, all together.
And in 2026, the biggest shift is this. You don't need more materials. You need better decisions.
Decisions like, how much time can I really give English each week? Where does English fit into my actual life? And what do I do when motivation disappears?
Because it will disappear.
Always.
So today and in the next episodes, we'll build a realistic self-study plan. Not a perfect student plan, but a human plan.
A plan that works if you're tired, if you're busy, if you've already failed before.
We'll talk about how to combine listening, speaking, reading, and writing without burning out.
And most importantly, how to stay in the process even when progress feels slow.
Because slow progress beats no progress.
So if you've ever said, I'll start next Monday, this podcast is for you.
And if you're studying now but constantly feel like you're doing not enough, this is also for you.
All right, let's start building English into real life, step by step.
Let's do it.
Core skills. How English should exist in your life.
Okay, let's talk about the core skills. And this is really important. Not as lessons, not as tasks, but as parts of real life.
Yeah, because this is where most people fail. Not because they're lazy, but because they try to study English instead of living with English.
Exactly. And the level doesn't matter here. Beginner, intermediate, advanced, these skills should always be present, just in different forms.
Let's start with listening. People usually think, I'll listen when I'm ready.
Which is the biggest mistake.
Listening is not something you earn. It's something you build tolerance for.
English should be in your ears regularly. Not perfectly understood, regularly.
Background listening counts. Podcasts while cooking, YouTube while cleaning, short videos while scrolling.
And here's the key thing. Listening is not about understanding every word. It's about recognizing sounds, rhythm, and familiar phrases.
If English is silent in your life, your brain forgets it exists.
Now speaking. This is the most painful one.
Yeah, because people wait for confidence.
But confidence comes after speaking, not before.
Speaking doesn't mean having conversations with natives every day.
It can be talking to yourself, repeating out loud, shadowing, answering imaginary questions.
If English never leaves your mouth, it stays passive forever.
And speaking badly is still speaking. Silence is worse.
Reading is usually the easiest skill, and people underestimate it.
Because reading is how vocabulary becomes familiar, not just memorized.
Short texts are enough. Captions, tweets, short articles, dialogues.
Reading doesn't mean translating everything. It means noticing patterns.
When you see the same phrase 5 times, your brain accepts it.
Writing scares people too. They think it must be perfect.
But writing is just slow speaking.
Messages, notes, short thoughts, Comments.
You don't need essays, you need expression.
Writing helps you organize language in your head. It connects grammar, vocabulary, and thinking.
If you never write, English stays chaotic.
And finally, vocabulary and phrases. This is where most people burn out.
Because they collect words like trophies.
Words without context don't survive.
Phrases survive. Expressions survive. Patterns survive.
You don't need 10,000 words. You need 300 to 500 phrases that you actually meet in life.
Vocabulary should come from listening, reading, and speaking, not separate from them.
So the system is not today listening, tomorrow grammar. Some days more listening, some days more speaking. That's normal. That's when people say, I've been learning for years, but I still can't speak. So the system is not today listening, tomorrow grammar.
It's English being present in different forms every week, every month.
Some days more listening, some days more speaking. That's normal.
The problem starts when one skill disappears completely.
That's when people say, I've been learning for years, but I still can't speak.
Because English wasn't living with them. It was visiting occasionally.
Okay, now let's talk about something people ask us all the time. How do I actually organize my week when I study English on my own?
Yeah, because most people don't fail because English is hard. They fail because there is no system. Just random videos, random apps, random motivation.
Exactly. So let's imagine a real person, real life, work, stress, tired evenings, and we'll build a simple weekly structure that works for any level.
First important thing, stop planning perfect days. Plan weeks.
Because no one studies perfectly every single day, but most people can do 3 to 5 short sessions per week.
So the goal of a week is not study everything. The goal is touch English regularly from different sides.
Let's say a normal week. You don't need hours, you need consistency.
For example, 2 days input, listening plus reading, 2 days output, speaking plus writing, 1 day light revision, vocabulary, fun.
And this is important. You don't study skills. You live with English in small pieces.
Now, in 2026, self-study looks very different. AI is no longer extra, it's part of the system.
Exactly. AI becomes your speaking partner, your writing checker, your vocabulary explainer, your motivation mirror.
And most importantly, AI removes fear. You can speak without being judged.
Week 1 is about habit, not progress.
Listening, short podcasts, YouTube, Reels, but daily exposure, even 10 minutes.
Speaking, talk to AI. Describe your day. Answer simple questions. No pressure.
Reading, short texts, posts, captions. Don't translate everything.
Writing, very simple. Messages, short summaries, notes.
Now you repeat the same structure, but you add intention.
For example, one theme for the week: work, travel, daily life.
Vocabulary comes from content, not lists.
And AI helps you notice patterns. How would a native say this?
This is where many people panic.
Because speaking feels uncomfortable.
But here AI is a game changer. You can practice dialogues, role plays, real situations.
Job interview, small talk, ordering coffee, explaining your opinion.
No fear, no embarrassment, just practice.
Most people skip this week, and that's why everything disappears.
Week 4 is about repeating, simplifying, noticing progress.
You don't add new things. You own what you already learned.
Let's be honest. People quit not because they are lazy.
They quit because they expect fast results and don't see progress in 2 weeks.
But English is not a sprint. It's a system you build around your life.
And in 2026, you don't need expensive courses. You need clarity, structure, and support.
And AI gives you that support 24/7.
So if you can survive 1 month with this system, you're no longer trying to learn English.
You're already living with it.
So if you're listening right now and thinking, okay, this actually sounds doable, that's exactly the point.
Yeah. Learning English in 2026 isn't about doing more. It's about doing things differently and more realistically.
You don't need perfect discipline. You don't need to study 3 hours a day. And you definitely don't need to feel guilty every time you skip a day.
What you really need is a system that fits your life, one that works even when you're tired, busy, or not motivated.
English shouldn't live only in textbooks or apps. It should live in your headphones, your notes, your messages, your thoughts.
And honestly, with all the tools we talked about today, AI, podcasts, content, you're not lacking resources anymore.
Most people don't fail because English is hard. They fail because the system they chose was too rigid.
So if you take one thing from today's episode, let it be this. Build a system you can come back to, even after breaks.
Mr. Week? No worries. Life happened. You come back.
Lost motivation? That's normal. You adjust, not quit.
English is not a 30-day challenge. It's a long relationship. Sometimes exciting, sometimes boring, but worth it.
And unlike toxic relationships, this one actually gives something back.
Exactly.
Thanks for spending this time with us today.
If this episode helped you rethink how you study English, even a little, then it did its job.
We'll be back with more practical, honest conversations about learning English in real life.
Take care of yourself and keep English close, not stressful.
See you next time. Bye.